In this episode, I'm going to show you how to survive the first night in Terraria. In the last one, I showed you how to create a world, and I will link that video in the description below, but for now, we're going to click on our world and start the load time. So this will take a few minutes, depending on if this is your first time loading in. If it is not, like this here, it'll only take a few seconds. So here we are in our world. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is kind of gather in your surroundings and check out where you are. You will almost indefinitely spawn in this kind of normal looking biome. It just got regular trees, it's sunny out, and you might see little things like this. These are slimes, and you can click with the left click on your mouse button to use your little sword. You will automatically be on your sword when you spawn in, and it kind of jabs out a little bit. It's not that cool of a little sword when you first get it. This little copper, it's a short sword, so that's why it's so kind of piddly compared to what a lot of the other swords in this game are. So you can kill the slimes around you, kind of just threat protection. And if you're playing PC like I am, you will have the NPCs help you. And I believe in console, at least a while before the newer updates, it didn't do that. So if you are playing on an older version of console, be wary of that your NPCs may actually not help you fight. But the first thing you want to do is start chopping down some trees. And in this game, different to Minecraft, you can't just use your fist. You have to use the specific tools, which is why you spawn with 3 of them. So the sword is for attacking, that kind of thing. The pickaxe is for mining the ground. You can see when I have it in my hand by pressing the 2 hotkey, or I can use the middle scroll wheel to also switch through my hotbar. If I press 2, it will show up as a little highlighted block, and if I click on it, that will start mining the blocks. So that is for the pickaxe is used for most mining, but for trees you have to use your axe. So you can click at the bottom here, and you want to click on the bottom most tree, a part of the tree, because that will give you the most wood. Because unlike Minecraft as well, the entire tree will fall down. So you cut it from the trunk, and everything above it will also turn to wood. So you don't have to spend your time mining every little part of it. So I'm gonna kill this little doodad here. You also can see in the top right, I only have 5 hearts. You can increase that over time, but I wouldn't worry about it. For now, we are going to be focusing on building a house, because the day does last quite a lot longer than the night, but it only lasts for so long. The nights aren't really, you can't really do too much in the first little bit of the game when you're too weak, because that's when a lot of the zombies and stuff come out. So you kind of just have to bide your time for the first while, and we're going to bide our time in a pretty cool looking house. So normally what you want to do to kind of avoid run-ins in the night, because there are instances where zombies and stuff can get in your house no matter what you do. So I always start building, and so I am just pressing the spacebar to jump, and I'm placing down these blocks under me as I go. And you can see here we got a pretty decent tower, and you want to click as high as possible to place the next block. So you got a tower here, and the highest one you can click, which seems to be here, that's what you want to go, because you want to be able to fully extend on the jump and be able to jump up here. So this seems to be my prime place from the bottom block down here. This is as high as I can jump, and so this is going to be your kind of bottom of your house for now. So we're going to build it out a good amount. You want to have some room in your house, because if it is too small, you can't actually house any NPCs in it. And if you didn't know, you can put NPCs like Jeffrey here, our guide, into houses, and the more houses you have available, the more NPCs you can get. So right now, we're just building our house, building up the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like you can see, I'm still making mistakes here and there. But also building as high as you can here. And then once you have built as high as you can, just building across. And I kind of ran out of wood, so I need to go grab more. And then what I do here is mine the kind of middle 3 blocks out of the bottom here, because we're going to use those as a sort of entrance point from the bottom. So I like to build these kind of sky bases, because what it allows you to do is zombies can't really jump that high. They're pretty stupid. So you don't have to worry about much trying to come in and infiltrate your base here. So it kind of gives that extra layer of protection. And actually, just for the sake of symmetry, I'm going to mine that so it's 4 across. And we actually got some pretty large trees around here, which is very nice. You usually spawn with an abundance of trees. And one big thing you want to do is when you chop these trees, you get these little acorns. And the acorns actually are what allow you to plant the trees in, because they don't just grow back naturally. It's in the same way you use saplings in Minecraft. You plant these again. So I'll come plant one over here. You just go onto the ground, you can see it, it'll even show you like a little sapling grow, and you just plant it there, and over time it will eventually sprout into a brand new tree. And they can be varying heights, so it is very similar to Minecraft in that respect, where they just kind of crop and grow up after a certain amount of time. So the next thing you want to do is, I'm actually going to come sit in my base here. Oh, these slimes will be very annoying for the first little while, but they will get easier to kill as you upgrade your stuff and get better stuff. So I'm going to jump up in here, and you want to press E, or no, not E. You want to press escape on your keyboard, and that will pop up all these different menus. So the top left, we have your inventory. There's not much here right now. We're not going to worry about much, but you can click on stuff and you can move it around. If you click it once, it pops up into your little cursor, and you click it again to drop it wherever you want. The top row is your hotbar. And so be wary of what you put up there, because that will allow you to use it depending on what you have up there. Certain things can also be accessed from your inventory, so also be mindful of that. But what we want to do first is look at these wooden platforms. So it does cost 1 wood to make, but you get 2 platforms. And since I have 4 little holes at the bottom here, I'm going to create 4. And if you make a different out, let's say you had a 3-hole like normal, and you had an extra one left over, always keep those, because you will most likely be using more platforms in the future. So here, the reason we want platforms is because if you press the down key, it allows you actually to drop through it, and so it acts kind of like in a transparent block. So you can jump up through it by holding up and spacebar, and then if you just click down, it'll drop through. So it's kind of a hatch for you to get in and out. But most zombies aren't going to be able to get to you too easy through that. So that's kind of our first little slate of protection. And then next we're just going to kind of fill out our roof here, so we kind of have a little home. And then next we want to go back into our inventory and craft this workbench. So you can click on that. It costs 10 wood. So this is always the crafting materials. And if you click on this little crafting window, it shows you everything kind of laid out in a grid of what you can craft. So we're going to craft this workbench, and you can kind of put this wherever, but you want to leave space beside it, because in this game, you will be enabled to... holy crap, let me start over again. So you want to put down your crafting table next to some open room. So I'm going to leave some room on the left, because in order to craft more and more complex things, you are going to basically just stand next to them. So you can see now that I'm just standing next to this while this is placed down, it gives me a whole bunch of extra crafting options that I can use to upgrade my arsenal and make more things. So that's how you basically get into better crafting areas. Instead of clicking on whatever thing that you want to craft with, you just stand next to it, which is really nice, because then if you're standing next to like 3 or 4 things, you can just go in your inventory and it allows you to craft a whole bunch of stuff. But only certain things can be crafted at certain places, so also be wary of that. But see, that slime right there, just an example. They can jump pretty high, but they were not able to get in because it's pretty complicated to get up here. So what we want to do next is craft a wooden chair. So this also costs 4 wood. And we're going to place it. It doesn't matter which direction you place it. Whatever direction you're facing, it will be placed that direction. So we're just going to place it next to our crafting table. This needs to be exactly next to your crafting table for more advanced recipes. And also, it helps us build a house. And so a house, there are a few things that qualify as a house. And so first, you need kind of an enclosed area that I would say put around this size. You can make it a little smaller, but make it at least like, I would say around like 10 blocks wide and as high as you can build. Make something relatively big. But inside of it, you need to have walls, which we can build here. Because this is a 2D game, there are only 2 dimensions, so you can build walls. And then for the background, you build these. So we have here some walls. And you just place them down in the background. And as you can see right now, it's just kind of placing it. So I'm just holding down the button, and it places all around it. So that is kind of nice to have, because then you don't have to sit there clicking each individual one. You can just hold the button and it will fill in. But be careful, because it will start filling in. See, it automatically went to here, so it will start filling in extra area even if you don't want that. So be mindful of where you are also wanting that to place. So kind of putting your cursor next to where you want to place is good, and also not just doing it in short bursts is very good as well. And you can see it's kind of dark in here, so what we're going to want to do next is get some torches. And so in this game you need 1 gel and any sort of wood to craft 3 torches. So I would kill, if you can, at least a few slimes. Don't worry though, if you die a few times, that's okay. There's when you're playing on the mode that we chose in the last episode, which I will remind you again is in the link in the description below, we picked our character, or no, 2 episodes ago, I'll also link that, we picked our character to be in normal mode, so they only lose a bit of money on death, which money won't come into play until a lot later. So we're gonna place down some of these. You can also just place them on walls and stuff, but also on background, which is very nice. So we're gonna craft a little bit more. You have to have the entire space filled in for him to for it to be considered a house. So just a few more things here, and you can add doors in the like. If you want. I'm going to be adding doors so I can extend off to the side to create more little houses. And I will also show you exactly how to check if it is a house and who is living in what, and you can actually switch around who's living in what house, which is really nice. So in this video I showed you how to survive the first night, and the next one I'm going to be showing you how to upgrade your gear in Terraria.